What is going on? Happy Sunday.
What is going on? What happened to? Are you ready? You look ready.
Welcome. Click the one above it on accident.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, Paul. There's a lot of good clips in here.
I remember that one.
I can never forget that. That day was epic.
Yes.
Yeah. That clip was what led to Jeff Johns saying, "You know what, Mark? If we went to school together, we'd be best friends."
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that every day.
I'm sure
every day.
It's got it tattooed right on it.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody to Out Weeks in the Spoiler Field. Look back at this week in comics, movies, shows, news, and so much more. We're going to be talking about some stuff, some things from DCKO number 4 to SpiderMan Noir and Star Trek Starfleet Academy. But we're not going to do that without some extra help this week. I had to tap in a resident Game of Thrones and Star Trek aficionado to keep up with Paul with the Star Trek conversation. Full disclosure, I invited this person before the first episode released, the pilot, but he sucks so bad at checking his messages that he didn't see it till this week and said, "Oh shoot, I just saw this. I'd love to." So without further ado, Mr. Aggressively Relaxing.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm just trying to live up to my name of like literally not checking my messages for a month. So.
That's accurate. It was a month.
Hey, we're on like episode 6 now, I think, of Star Trek. So
better late than.
But now I have to say,
yeah, there's so much more to talk about. But yeah, we're going to cover some comic books here. We're going to talk the SpiderMan Noir trailer, brand new episode of Game of Thrones. What's it called?
Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
That, which I know AR is a huge fan of the books. He claims they're his favorite books written by George R.R. Martin out of all of them. He's here to tell us
stuff. It's right up my alley as far as kind of like having a happy ending, like being a fun adventure and not George's normal brand of like, cutting the rug out from underneath you and slaughtering your favorite character after making them likable.
Well, and to be fair, don't we ultimately know their demise?
Oh yeah, definitely. If you like look into the history of the Seven Kingdoms, I heard you on another show talking about you know their ultimate fate of kind of.
But because I had kind of gone down the Game of Thrones lore, the more in-depth lore during the 2 seasons of House of the Dragon, because like I just can't get enough when that show's on. And it reminded me, and I went back and rewatched all of Game of Thrones, and that's like a big set piece during Game of Thrones, their old castle and everything. And when I made the connection between Dunk and Egg and the castle, it legitimately did make me sad. I'm like, okay, they lived a full life. Like, I mean, granted, the switch got cut off when the time came, but it wasn't like they had their youth stolen from them or anything. You know what I mean? It's like
it only gets more tragic before you learn. It's just going to get worse. If you're already like, oh, that's sad. It's just, you're just going to fill in the kind of some of the blanks and go, that's sadder now, I guess.
Well, I know he was trying to bring back the dragons and playing with wildfire and stuff, trying to incubate some eggs and all. That's all I know. But from what I understand, they're like in their 70s though when they die. They're old men, at least by the standards of this world. Like if you live past 30 in this world, you're pretty much a senior citizen.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. You're doing good.
Yeah. If you don't die in childbirth, that's already a win.
If you make it to 40, you can still crap in the woods. You're doing okay.
If you don't get thrown out the window by age 12,
right.
That's a milestone.
Yeah, exactly. Check.
But yes, definitely want to start with probably the strangest show I have ever seen. The saga continues of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I'm actually questioning how it got that certification at this point, but that was based off the premiere episode and stuff, and I stand by those were fantastic. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I told Paul this show has absolutely lost me at this point. I'm not lost plot wise. I'm lost production wise. Like I don't know who's in charge of this show, but I think they're Huff and Duster or something. So I'm going to let you and Paul take it away for this, and Paul to give you the recap, and y'all give the catch up on what y'all think about it, because I'm not qualified to talk about this show, and it's not for me. So Paul, you take it away.
Well, we finally actually leave. We take the USS Athena away from San Francisco out on their first mission. What mission with the cadets? Because for those of you who don't know, in Starfleet Academy, the saucer part of the USS Athena actually comes down and connects to the Starfleet Academy and it becomes one with the building. But it has the ability to obviously take off into space too. So it's like a working type of a college, and so it does that. It goes into basically it goes to an old and AR, correct me if I say anything wrong, but it goes to an old
Ship graveyard.
Starship graveyard where the USS Miyazaki is. What they do is they take every class there, and their job is to try to start up the USS Miyazaki and see if they can salvage it and do some other things. And so it's not the Kobayashi Maru where there's like a no-win situation type of a thing. It's not that. It's kind of how can they all work together for one common goal type of a thing.
And it's because it has that very unique, one-of-a-kind singularity drive in it. So it's
Correct.
still a valuable asset to the Starfleet, right?
One of a kind, which has been seen before in Star Trek lore.
The Romulans have one, right?
Yes, correct. And so they go there, and as this team, they're working together with the War College because if you know, there's the Starfleet Academy and there's the War College. The two of them are in the same place. So they take a team of 6 or 8 people and they go over, half Academy, half War College, to go over to try to do some things. And when they first get over there, they manage to get in, but then as soon as they're there, they're captured by a group called the Furies, which is this very strange. It almost is like it sounds like a predator. It's got a lot of clicking that they do. And if you look at it, it just the face kind of continues to move and everything. And so they're captured by the Furies, who then message back to the ship, to the U.S. Athena. This is what we want, or we'll start throwing people out the airlock. We have what I think is our first red shirt person, who is the guy who's kind of running the whole lesson. He is very quickly killed and thrown out the airlock.
They ate him too. They chewed on him a bit.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with the Furies, is they actually eat people. So,
that was a lot of wasted meat. Like, I didn't understand that.
Yeah. Well, it's in space. It's frozen. They can get back to it later.
That's true, because Paul Giamatti pointed out later that they'll eat the whole thing asshole first. I'm like,
right. Yeah, right. So we see Odin Furrer, who is the guy who's basically running everything. He's back, just kind of through a hologram type of a message from where he is. And he gets with Commander Ake and the guy who's running the War College and says, hey, we know who these people are. The Furies, we've heard of them. Oh, we lost AR again.
He will return in Avengers Doomsday.
Exactly. But we need Paul Giamatti's villain from the first episode. He might be able to help us because he managed to defeat the Furies, or at least send them running in a battle not too long ago. And so they end up talking to Paul Giamatti. He, of course, has some, he has some knowledge of them. He tells them how they can, put them to flight. Basically, they're kind of like bats. So if you disrupt their echolocution, I guess is what it is, or sonar, whatever you want to call it, is that kind of sets them off and everything. And so they go ahead and they happen to have a brand new ship at a starbase not too far away that just would serve this very purpose. And so they send this ship there. As it gets there, they then realize that Paul Giamatti has kind of obviously two-timed them. He has now attacked this research facility, starbase where the ship was. And so he kind of goes there and he now has, yeah, exactly. We'll get to that. and he gets to them. Meanwhile, everyone else has had to work together. We actually get another interesting that we got another Vulcan who says the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Guess what? He dies. He's the one.
That's what he gets for stealing Spock's line.
Exactly. So he dies. And so at the end they get everyone except for those two people back. They manage, the Furies end up, blood splattered everywhere because of the sonic thing that they do. But huge defeat by them, by Paul Giamatti's character. And I didn't even get into the whole Betazoid thing and how she was able to contact Caleb and make sure that everything went right. So
save space.
Yeah. So that was.
Yeah, I've been listening, and that is a perfect script.
So what was your thoughts? What was a big takeaway for you, AR, from this episode? Highs and lows.
Well, I love the comic book aspect, the whole thing. The idea of these characters, I guess 3 of them kind of having been inspired by a Star Trek comic book to get involved.
Did you notice the cover was foil?
I guess it was a foil cover. I wonder I was trying to figure out who did the art.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if IDW
put
that out at some point.
Yeah, I already messaged on Instagram in some thread with the lady in charge of IDW's Star Trek. You guys, you have to put this out, right? Tales from the Frontier. And there was a book called Tales from the Frontier already for Star Trek, obviously. But there was a Starfleet Academy comic before this. And then there's a new one that's about to drop that's based off of these exact characters.
Yeah, IDW is doing great things.
Yeah, I've loved that of Vulcan with an attitude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was saying that Vulcan with an attitude, who we see in it. I've enjoyed him throughout this. I like the little Vulcans that mess with Spock in the 2009 one with he's got human eyes. Look, they're sad. Mean Vulcans I've always really enjoyed. So I immediately like that character. And it's a spoiler cast, so it was very sad to see him eat it, especially after quoting Spock. And I think it's going to be really powerful going forward for our main character, Caleb. That 2 guys did kill them, sacrifice themselves for the greater good of the mission, and he saw that, and he's seeing what Starfleet is. And I find that, that's going to be really important going forward, I think. But yeah, I loved this episode. We had a real Jean Grey moment here with the Betazoids. And that is interesting because they've always been all over the place about how
she's from Betazoid. That's
no, I know that, but why don't we call her by her name?
Yeah, that's a good point, right?
Since we watched the premiere, I've been calling her Brett Cooper. She literally looks like Brett Cooper. And I can't remember her name for nothing. I just like Brett Cooper. But I don't know her name.
Oh, now I'm trying to think of who Brett Cooper is.
She looks just like this girl, but she's like a internet influencer who does news commentary and stuff for years. She was one of the ones that left the Daily Wire in a big pizzazz. People go to work at the Daily Wire, then they're like, ew, and they leave the Daily Wire.
Oh.
She was one of the ones that went there, was ew, and left. But she looks just like this girl. She covered a lot of the Justin
I remember that
with Blake Lively and everything. And I embarrassingly follow that and talk to Caroline about it a lot and everything. And that's the best coverage on it.
Her name is Tarima.
Tarima, thank you. Because we keep calling her the Betazoid. I'm like, dude, if someone called me the Homo sapien, I'd be like, yeah, I mean that's accurate, but I'm Mark.
We would call you the Augustin.
The Augustin.
The big
head.
Yeah, Tamara.
Tamara.
Is that how you say it?
Tarima.
I would love to read you in Lady F's messages, actually, though.
The what? What is the F's messages?
You should publish them, like those letters, like the Federalist, letters.
Oh,
you should just publish you and Lady F's, discussions eventually.
Bro, they're not as crazy as you think. It's just her asking if I've heard about X, Y, or Z. But
you and Lady F's correspondence back and forth.
Yeah, we like to talk about a lot of fun stuff. That's my big sister right there, man.
But you got to get someone else to do it. You can't do. Got to be someone like Stephen Lang would have to do your letters.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. I'm for that. I love that guy. He's one of the greatest fictitious generals to ever exist. He's like a general in everything, from Stonewall to Quaritch.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the episode. I know you didn't like the episode, which is fine. It's not for everyone, but and there are a lot of people who are not really, finding this. They think that it's too young adult, but my thing to that is, I think it has to be in some ways. You have to bring in the young. I mean, it's the 60th anniversary of Star Trek.
That's a good point.
You need to bring in.
I looked up this lady
newer people, younger people, and if you have to do it by making a series that's kind of a young adult type of a thing, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if that's not my critique of it. I mean, I'm sure there's people that have that. That's definitely not my critique. I could care less who the cast is, one way or another. Like, I like the Starfleet aspect to it. Again, I was telling Paula already, AR, without going down this whole long thing. Whenever I watch anything, it's like, how much am I taken out of what I'm watching by what I'm looking at? That really is like a measuring stick for me. Am I invested in it? Am I lost in this world that I'm watching, kind of thing? And this episode, more than any other one, kept making me think, what the heck? What? Huh? What? And there's just tons of moments like that for me. Primarily, the entire plot of this episode was Paul Giamatti has this grand plan to jack this technology, but it depends on Holly Hunter on her own accord saying, hey, I need Paul Giamatti for my rescue plan. And that didn't make any sense at all. None. That just doesn't circle back around at all. That at that point.
Well, to be fair to Holly Hunter's character, it's Admiral Vance who brings him in. Right. But I feel like your criticism still stands. It's silly, the idea that they'd have to bring him in at all.
Yeah, and that was a big twist of the episode. He's like, I was double timing the whole time. Well, how did you know we were going to bring you in for help? That guy, like, they had to, you know what I'm saying? Like, there should have been somebody that was working with him. They should have revealed somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was all part of the plan.
I mean,
that told him they would be there. That
I feel like they did the legwork
about the secret technology. Like, there's so many levels of plot that Paul Giamatti just skipped and just existed on the other side of all of a sudden, just out of left field. I'm like, what? But that was just me. That was silly me.
That's what I say.
What it is I've been playing the yarn game like 10 hours a day for the past 2 weeks. So when I'm watching a TV show, if the yarn game isn't working on the TV show, it's very noticeable to me right now. I'm very sensitive to dots not connecting when I've been spending the last 2 weeks straight connecting dots. Yes, the yarn game. Well, yeah. What would you rate this episode though on your scale? How does it stack up against the rest of the series for you?
I would probably give it a 6.5, maybe.
AR, what about you, man?
I see. I absolutely love this episode. I've always been very interested in the Betazoids. They're my favorite, race, and the idea of how well their, what is it called, like telepathy, works, right? Because it's always been really all over the place with Deanna Troi, who is our most famous Betazoid.
Right.
Because there's a whole bunch of episodes of TNG where you're like, well, this whole thing would just be solved if, Deanna was here. Where is she? She's conveniently not on the bridge when someone's lying to, Captain Picard. And sometimes she can, like, project herself into the astral plane, Professor X style. And sometimes she can kind of get senses of people. So it's never really sure. And so the idea is they're playing with this new idea that this character is like a Jean Grey
like
of
an alpha.
Betazoids who can,
I will
unleash psychic power.
They might be my favorite species, race, whatever in Star Trek now that I know that I can find this little device and put it on my wife so I know when she's horny. That would be cool. Oh, the light's blue? Let's go. That was
all right.
If you can't tell without a light going off, then you got bigger problems.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's switch over to some Game of Thrones.
So yeah, and then
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
definitely. Well, just there's a whole bunch of things, I could go on about, this Star Trek as far as cool things they've like included in the last few episodes. I do want to focus on just this episode, but the little Vulcan sacrifice, the love of comic books kind of bringing everyone together, the everyone working together in different ways to try to save the day. The Betazoid stuff. I really love this episode, but I agree with you. The idea of like they should have set it up earlier in the season. Like the idea there's this crown jewel that someone like Paul Giamatti's character, who I guess they've kind of done the legwork to make you feel like he might be a power, in the galaxy. But I just never. When we first meet him, he's like stealing things with this lady, and it just seems very petty. And now I'm supposed to expect that this guy commands, multiple starships that can do huge heists. It's been a couple years or whatever. I do feel like it's the weakest part of the show, but I do love his little speeches and trying to make Holly Hunter feel bad. All of that was, wonderful, giving him his kind of con moment of just being awful. Paul Giamatti is fun to watch.
He kind of had like a baby Billy moment too, where he's like, "I hate you."
God, I hate you.
I hate that nanny.
I want you to do your job, Holly Hunter.
Exactly. Oh man, take these kids. I'm trying to get some dinner. Joe says Deanna was also part human, not full Betazoid, so her abilities were hard to use here and there. Okay.
So
was she on Enterprise?
True, yeah.
What was she on?
Yeah, she was on the Next Generation.
Next Generation, okay.
She was the ship's counselor.
Oh, she's a black-haired lady, kind of curly hair.
Ended up marrying Will Riker.
Exactly right.
Hey. Yeah. He got that blue light off, huh?
Exactly.
Did she have the little light?
She did not, no.
Oh.
No.
So we go from...
She didn't have Betazoid secret, superpowers.
Right. Riker just knew where it was. Good for him. Good for him.
So we go from Taylor T-Dubs, who says that Dawson Creek has gotten worse with each episode, sadly, to what I think has gotten better every episode, and that is Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Good segue, Paul. Bravo. Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The Hedge Knight. What's that? What's the actual book name, AR?
Well, it was from a collection originally, and then it got published like by itself. So when I first read it, it was The Hedge Knight. And now it's a part of like, a 3-part short series. And then them being brought up in like one of these history style books, right? So I've heard it, called The Hedge Knight, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And then I've also heard just Tale of Dunk and Egg. is what it's been called.
So basically, just call it whatever.
Now I think it's
picture.
Yeah, it was like this short story that people just kind of shared for a while, like, you know, inconsequential, and it, you know, is such a sweet telling that, you know, it doesn't really scratch the itch for a lot of people of what you know Game of Thrones is, which is all, you know, sex and betrayal. You know, in this one, it's kind of like almost wholesome, right?
Yeah. So then this was
And then
this was by far my
got 2
favorite
more.
episode. Yeah. Just to kind of recap the chat real quick. Pretty much, Dunk is facing charges for attacking the little prince in the last episode. The prince was beaten up on his little crush who was painting a shield for him. He stepped in to stop her from being hurt. Now he has to face the crime of laying hands on the little princeling guy. So he's been he doesn't know how he's going to go about do it, but he knows that he has a right of challenge that he can ask for, and he does. And the little prince responds with the rule of 7, where he has to go gather 6 other knights to fight beside him in his just cause against the people that are condemning him, and they're 7. So it's a battle royale instead of a 1v1. So this episode is him going around trying to convince other people to fight beside him, and it was one hell of a rallying cry at the end. We have this epic moment where this phenomenal actor who is playing Dunk goes from being this innocent, ignorant, kind of like big buffoon kind of guy who doesn't know how to move or operate in this world around these other people to having like this stoic, stern, serious face doing this great speech.
Hey,
like, are there no men among you? Is there no honor among you kind of speech?
He
And
becomes Braveheart.
He does, dude. It was like such a moment. I'm sitting here just like I want to go help this guy, but I'm not in this show. And I'm also probably too big of a pussy. I'd probably been the guy that like didn't say shit, just sat there like there ain't no brave people over here. But yeah, but ultimately
you're the guy who steps back when everybody ready to step forward.
But the coolest part was at the end. The big reveal was I don't know what his station is, but the most senior Targaryen in the family, the biggest authority at the entire tournament, comes rolling in, and he says, "I'll fight with you." And his brother's like, "Are you serious? This guy attacked my son." And he responds, "No, he defended an innocent woman, as all knights should." And I'm like, "Okay, let's go." Like, finally, somebody with some honor in this show, because the frustration Dunk was having, not being able to find a single stench of honor amongst anyone, was legitimately frustrating. You can feel it.
And the one guy he does find ditches him that morning because he gets offered more money.
Yeah, ditches him. Yeah, no honor there. But I thought that was cool. His squire decided to stand up against him. And the Baratheon is great. Like Robert Baratheon, I guess his great grandfather, whoever, he's like, "Yo, you're telling me we're going to do like a duel of the 7? Like, I got a hard on for that. That hadn't been done in forever. I'm not going to miss this opportunity." So he's just down to clown, like, which is awesome. But man, it was a great episode. I'm excited to see what happens next.
Yeah, it's been a very slow burn, but like I said, every single episode seems to have gotten better and better and better. And it's I think the last episode, or maybe the episode before, has ranked higher on Rotten Tomatoes than any of the House of the Dragon episodes have gotten.
I believe he got a 97 point something %.
Yeah.
Earned every bit of it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, what about jump in? What'd you think? Fill us in on what we didn't catch about the episode.
Well, what's so great about this story, is that it's so short that, you're getting like basically the audiobook playing out. Like, they have enough time to do every piece of dialogue you basically would find in this. You're doing, direct quotes. Every little thing is kind of being captured in this, and that's why it's so great. Like, it almost has like a murder mystery feel, where or like a Quentin Tarantino-esque kind of, like, you meet people throughout the story and you don't realize that they're going to be consequential in different ways as it goes on. And it just keeps it like a snowball rolling downhill. Dunk the one honorable man in the Seven Kingdoms just keeps getting kind of like thrown in the hot water. And by doing the right thing, he seemingly comes out on top. You guys will see what happens. There's still tragedy to be had in the story, and twists and turns, and it's not as clear cut as I kind of make it sound, but yeah, there's not really much that you're missing. They're even taking time to do the thing that I always make fun of Martin's stories about, which is like a montage of Dunk eating food, just excited to be in a place where he can eat food. That's wonderful. Like he's so happy to be there.
Part of the justification of why we watch him poop behind a tree, and like there's been a lot of pooping and peeing in this show.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like they just kind of like, it does feel like some of that stuff is put in there to remind you you're watching HBO, to try to deserve their R rating. A sense of giving you like, this guy's life really is, low end. Like here he is outside pooping. Yeah, and you could have gotten away with telling this story without this, But I guess they're just trying to use their rating.
It looked very Looney Tunes because you had the tree in his head one side and just his butt cheeks out the other. It looked like a Looney Tunes thing. Paul, do you remember that movie, The Villain, with it's an early Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It's got Kirk Douglas's dad. What was his name? Played in Spartacus and like the original Douglas.
Michael.
Oh, that was Kirk Douglas.
Okay, so Kirk Douglas. Who was his son then?
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Okay, I had him backwards. Yeah. Kirk Douglas, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it. It was a Western comedy. It was like a live action Looney Tune thing. But there's a part where like you see a grove of trees and you see Kirk Douglas stick his head out one side and his horse sticks his head out the other, which is physics. That's impossible because the horse is like 10 times bigger than the tree. But that's what this felt like when I saw that. I'm like, this is very Looney Tune.
I thought you were going to say like he painted a tunnel on the side of the mountain.
No, but they do that. they do that. They do that in the movie. They do the bouncing out of the scene. Like, I can't believe you haven't seen it. It's called The Villain. It's a fantastic movie. 1979. Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a character called Handsome Stranger. It's a really, really good movie. But anyways, I digress.
Former employee of Acme.
Yeah. Can't believe you haven't seen that. You've got to watch
that.
And
then, in that same vein, there's the amazing scene where Dunk is, kind of lionizing the old knight that trained him, trying to remember his name. And he's like, oh, he was a true knight. You cut to him peeing. And, we have to ask, was that a prosthetic? Did they find this guy?
It had to be a prosthetic.
That was...
Dude, it came down to his
It was too
ankle.
funny to have him do that after it was a true knight.
Well, that was in his Hercules in New York days.
Yeah, it's a great show. But yeah, there's just like these little tidbits thrown in. Yeah, because Dunk and Egg, basically, you could get away with doing it PG-13.
Right.
Yeah, thinking about it, there's really been nothing other than the unnecessary nudity that hasn't serviced the plot at all or anything. I don't, and it's easy to roll back language. I got to tell you, like excessive vulgar language whenever you do like medieval period.
Yeah, because like pieces. The horse murder, that might be
it. Just some pretty hard hits
that
in the
story,
but nothing
like
gory.
It's important to the whole thing. Him, that other character breaking his leg, all of that is part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bad language always seems out of place for stuff like this. That's like sword and sorcery stuff, or
it's basically a Knight's Tale.
Yeah. No, pretty much. But yeah. What was the other big thing for this week? SpiderMan Noir.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been this excited for a Marvel anything in a long time. That trailer released this week, and I got to tell
great.
you,
Are you guys going to watch it In color or black and white?
Black and white. I'm going black and white right off the bat.
I haven't been this excited for a Nicolas Cage project ever, because I'm not a big Nicolas Cage fan. The only reason I like Nicolas Cage is because he collects comic books.
Con Air?
No.
Face Off?
No.
Gone in 60 Seconds? None of these?
Oh, but you're still hyped.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the trailer, but I'm not a big. It looks like he's definitely starting to show his age.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, yes.
Nah.
Yeah, he's starting to get a little bit little weathered.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'll play out just fine. It'll actually act. I mean, we're dealing with Spider-Man characters, so like the superpowers are all in the bite. I don't know. The period piece aspect to it, the noir aspect to it, whether you're talking black and white or color version, just the time era aspect to it was that was the win. People in suits sitting around with cigarettes going, scotch glasses, like all of it looked fantastic. The cinematography looked good. Like the camera work just from the trailer alone, you can see was very creative and had that sense of noir to it. But what really got me, what absolutely stole the show for me, was that sequence at the end when he's swinging through the city for that brief moment, and you see the old buildings and things aren't quite as tall, and you see this dude in a jacket and a fedora, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like my mind was in one place, like this old detective Bogart style thing, and now I'm seeing a man swinging in a city. That's something that I've literally not seen before, like in movies and stuff. It genuinely felt new. And I'm like, I'm in. AR, what'd you think, bud? I remember he was dubbed, if I can remember. Yeah, he was dubbed.
Yeah, I'm hyped. It's such a fun idea. Like letting Nick Cage obviously kind of yeah, he's going wild out.
Well, there's the audio. Paul, what'd you think?
I said I love the trailer. And if not, he actually did the voice of Spider Noir in the animated movies too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why they got him. I know that there are some people giving a little pushback about like, yeah, he's too old. Why didn't they just get a younger guy? How does this connect to the MCU? I've seen a bunch of people say stupid stuff, a bunch of Collins in comments. I'm like, I'm not even conversing with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to at least seeing where they start with it. So,
now, this is a TV show or a movie?
Yeah, TV. It's going to be on Prime.
Do we know how many episodes or anything like that, or release date or anything?
I thought it wasn't the. I don't recall this. Spider Noir and the release date. Oh, I should have known that. It's my birthday, May 27th.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty convenient. Makes it a little bit easy to remember.
Yeah.
Bro, that just reminded me. We have Monarch right around the corner.
Yeah. 8 episodes, it says.
I hope they're full hour longs.
Oh, it's going to be one of those. They're going to release them all at once.
That's unusual for Amazon. That's very unusual. Why would they dump this show?
I don't know.
I wonder if they're half-hour episodes, if that's the case.
I'm checking. Each running about 45 minutes.
That's crazy. Binge released the episodes in both authentic black and white and true full color formats. I wonder if it has to do with them releasing it like 2 complete series, like in black and white and in color at the same time. It's a unique release, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's gonna. If anybody happens to have MGM Plus, you can see it 2 days early, on May 25th.
How do you get MGM Plus?
You have to pay extra like everything else.
Like everything else, give them money.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give them money. Do you have MGM Plus?
I do not.
Bro, I'm
Really the only thing that MGM really still owns is James Bond.
Why would MGM Plus even have its own streaming service when they're owned by Amazon? Robin Hood TV show from. Is there even anything on here?
If it's the British Robin Hood TV show, that actually was pretty good.
It's an MGM Plus original, whatever it is. I don't see anything special on here other than that show from Mission. It's a bunch of stuff that's on Paramount that's on here. Mission Impossible, Sonic, The Naked Gun. Weird. I don't understand why this exists. I don't get it. But yeah, definitely excited. Definitely looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be awesome. I watched a new movie this week, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's AR. See if we got him in here. I like how it's in a slightly different camera view every time, which is perfect.
I've moved all of my comic books because I have so many out to the garage. And this is the first time I've attempted to stream from this new place. It's not working well, and I apologize to the audience for that.
It's all right. We'll jump in on SpiderMan Noir before we jump off of it. What'd you think?
Oh, I loved it. I can't wait. Like, watching Nick Cage do Nick Cage stuff is amazing. And, like that by itself normally will get me to buy a ticket, let alone adding Spider-Man. And like you were saying about the swinging, it just looked great. And I'm not sure, but I think the song in the background was like a stripped down version of that song from the Into the Spider-Verse, What Up Danger. Like, I think it was hitting the same beats too. I need to go back and look at that. I just was like hearing it in my head when I went and watched it one more time before this. And I like that they're doing it in color as well. I will also be doing it black and white. And I think it looks great. I can't wait.
What are your we just found out, we were today years old when we found out they're doing a complete binge drop of it. They're dumping it all at once.
Okay.
I ain't heard of Amazon doing that before.
Yeah, because it's Prime, right? I don't know about their traditional schedule. And I also don't know what, market research at this point is telling these people. Because I think, like, in the space that we hang out in, people make a lot of hay out of the idea of, like, oh, they just dropped the whole thing on Netflix? They don't believe in it. Like, I've seen that kind of come across a lot. That means it's not very good if they put it out, very quickly.
Yeah, let me hit on that real quick because there's some new relevant information from this week. Netflix set the standard for binge drops. They were the only place that did it. Everywhere else would do weekly drops in order to keep the audience week by week. Netflix has been around, established. They broke the mold by doing that, and they have so much in their catalog that they have their built-in audience. Netflix as a company, people don't realize this, but we've talked about it recently. Netflix as a company is like 4x the size of Disney. Like, they're worth so much money, it doesn't even make sense. Disney, on the other hand, hasn't grown financially as a company in the past decade. They're at the same place they were 10 years ago, which is weird. So they kind of do this a lot. So Disney, I think, is experimenting with it a little bit. And traditionally, what Disney's done, for anybody that's good at noticing, when they dump a show, it's because they don't want the press. They did it with Echo, which have like their historical low views. They did it with Wonder Man here recently. I don't believe they expected it to get such a positive reception, because the day that Wonder Man released, instead of paying to promote Wonder Man, they released the new Daredevil season commercial. So people would be talking about Daredevil instead of Wonder Man. And we just got the viewership numbers back this week for Wonder Man. Despite the positive feedback from it, which it was amazing, it got less viewers than Echo got. So people didn't turn out to watch it. It's maybe they're experimenting with it. I don't know. Maybe this is some kind of deal that Amazon has in partnership with Sony or something. I don't know, but I hate the idea of doing an 8-episode dump with 45-minute long episodes where you're forced to just speed watch it if you don't want to be spoiled by stuff. That's
Well,
my problem. That makes
you know,
sense.
it's also a symptom of the, when only a handful of studios own so much of the IP, there's not a whole lot of time in the year before you are just kind of competing with yourself and having to put a lot of different things on the shelf. You could see like the steady ramping up of individual projects in Hollywood, like in movies, leading up to 2021, where it dropped off. But then it's continued to since the recovery of the pandemic, continued to try to put out more and more movies, but it's not going at the same pace that it was. And I've always wondered if having 600 movies in a theater in a year versus 400, does that help box office? Or does that hurt individual? Does that, make a bigger splash for getting more people to go out to the movies? And I can't decide about that or about the release schedule, because like what I always think about is the Sherlock Holmes Hound of the Baskervilles, right? Mm-hmm. And like a big part of that original book coming out was that not Sherlock, the author, Conan O'Doyle, he would shop it around the chapter to different people and try to get different people, different like newspapers to try to buy the chapter and make them compete against each other. And that was kind of what made that particular book super famous. But nowadays, people just know that that's the most famous Sherlock Holmes book. No one talks about the like weird release schedule that did kind of like bump up its notoriety at the time, right? So in theory, your release schedule can make or break. And I've heard a lot of interesting arguments about what type of shows should be dropped that way. And I wonder what kind of data they have, because I guess to Disney's point, they read the room on Wonder Man and were right about getting behind it, apparently, from viewership, like you said.
Yeah, I don't know if they did or read the room. I think they were completely off on the room. I think they read the room and didn't believe in it because it didn't have a lot of people like very confident in it just from the commercials or whatever. And they released it all at once and buried it underneath a Daredevil commercial instead of just leaning into it. But it got amazing reception from the people that watched it. Like the feedback was fantastic. It just didn't have enough people watch it. So hopefully there's something. But to your point about the release schedule thing and moving forward, Paul made a very keen observation about next year with the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, so from what we have basically this year we had Brand New Day is coming out July 31st. Then we have this Christmas we have Avengers Doomsday. Next year we have Avengers Secret Wars. But other than that, there has been absolutely, that I'm aware of, there's been absolutely no announcement of anything else that's in production right now that's going on. And you would think if they're going to do something, they would already be in pre-production for something that still isn't coming out until 2028. And as far as I'm aware, they have announced nothing.
Yeah, for the past 15 years, we've had a multi-year slate that they were working with. It would have some changes here or there, but there would be a slate because, I mean, from the production end, they have to make these decisions to actually start work to have them made and released on time. But I thought that was an interesting observation that we have nothing unknown or nothing really on the horizon outside of those. I think the Vision Quest thing, is that still happening?
Yeah.
That TV show?
Yeah, that's already filmed for now, and they do have. If it doesn't get pushed back again, 2027 may have Into the Spider-Verse Part 2, maybe.
Which is technically Sony, but yeah,
right, exactly. Yeah,
that's what got pushed back so much. Guess they had to wait on the new thinking machines to improve. I'll never forget that. I'm a special features guy, and I really, really loved Into the Spider-Verse, and I was watching the special features on it when they were talking about how they did the animation and stuff, and they used what they called at the time their thinking machines, which is what we now call just AI. Mm-hmm. But I thought that sounds creepy. They're learning machines, I think is what they called it, learning machines.
Yeah. Did you see the major studios that were all banding together to fight AI copyrights.
They're suing China.
Yeah, but they're also
Dance Seed 2.0 or something like that.
Yeah, but they're also developing. They're also partnering and putting in money to collaborate to form some sort of an office that will investigate
And hunt
and
down
hunt down
AI.
AI copyright infringements.
Yo, if you're hearing this, you are the resistance. Sarah Connor died so these people can live. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is literally the first resistance against Skynet. It's happening in real time. But yeah, those videos that popped up over the weekend from Dance Seed or Seed Dance 2.0,
Yeah.
wicked fun. I can't even lie. I sent Paul one today, or last night. I'm like, bro, look, we're watching the Zack Snyder Dark Side and Desaad fighting with Tomar Ray. Like before they shut it down, I need somebody to go get the script and just burn up an entire like Amazon rainforest worth of RAM space and just energy to get us Justice League Part 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those little clips that people make take an ungodly amount of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just crazy to think. But man, they're fun.
Well, that is the fun thing about AI, right? I like the idea of us just being able to cast whoever we want in a role and have it, create a 15-minute thing that, entertains, say, like me, you, and Paul, because we hung out here and like, oh, it'd be cool if they did this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the Brad Pitt Tom Cruise fight?
Yes, that was hilarious. You know too much.
Yeah.
He was a good man. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know who wrote the dialogue for it, but they got jokes. That was hilarious. To AR's point, I think the reality is somewhere in the middle, kind of similar to like fan fiction stuff now, like these superhero beatdowns or Spider-Man Lotus. Anyone can make anything they want with pre-existing characters. You just can't sell it for monetary gain or use it for monetary gain. If you make something and share it for free or give it away, you're not breaking any laws or IP stuff like that. If you draw a picture of Spider-Man and give your friend, you didn't break any laws. If you sit at a booth somewhere and you're drawing pictures of Spider-Man and giving them away or selling them this and that, they can ask you not to do that and send you a cease and desist if they care to. They have the right to do that. So I think that when the cards all fall, that's going to be somewhere where it is. But right now in this stage of things, I get why they're trying to put as many safeguards in place in the front end as possible. They definitely rightly should, I think, especially when it comes to China, that'd be stealing all of our IPs anyways. I mean, making knockoff toys and all that. I don't know how China's been allowed to do that for decades to begin with. That's crazy to me. Like these are literally owned IPs. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. That's theft. That's literally just theft.
Copying is the greatest form of flattery, right?
Yeah, that's the flip side, I guess. Yeah, we should tell them thank you. Yeah. Oh man, I was telling Paul right before you hop back on that I watched a new movie this week, a movie that's new to me. It's now on Disney Plus. I'm a big fan of the franchise, and I was excited to see this movie. I wasn't like super stoked after having seen it come out and seen this very non-organic glazing that it got, but Predator Badlands is now on Disney Plus. Dan Trachtenberg, or however you say his name, he's the current, he's the Kevin Feige for the Predator stuff, but he actually directs it. He's actually creative. He did Prey, which is just a phenomenal movie, like 9.5 out of 10. I will die on that hill that is the second best Predator installment, period. And he did what was the Killer of Killers, was the animated feature film, which was really, really good, except for the World War II story was a little wonky, but it all came together so well. And then he did this movie Badlands, and I got to tell you guys, it is the single worst Predator movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I got through it last night, and I heard you say yesterday that you hated it.
No,
I'd love to hear your reasons why. I liked it.
All right, I want to let me preface this. I didn't hate it. I said it's the worst Predator movie.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So
You're saying is a bad Predator movie is still better than a good Starfleet Academy episode.
A bad Predator movie is still a highly rewatchable movie, whatever. So have you seen all the Predator movies, AR?
Yeah, definitely. I saw those cartoons and
So
Predator, Alien, and all that. I love those universes. I love the lore of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, the last Predator movie that came out that was called The Predator, about the one that was trying to evolve himself and everything, and he was dealing with all the military rejects and everything, and they're trying to get to the autistic kid. That one, I think, is a great example of how it's not the greatest movie, but it's extremely entertaining kind of thing. It's got tons of faults, but it's hardcore. It's X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
but it's
fun,
not
right. Michael Keaton versus Predator. That's fun.
Dude, it's super fun. But they doesn't have that one nor this Badlands didn't have the Adrian Brody Predator movie or Prey or Predator One or Prey. It didn't have that level of good moviness. This one to me felt like a series of YouTube fan films that were posted on YouTube that they just put together. I'm not saying that the story didn't flow. It just felt that cheap to me. And what got me was there's a couple of little things. Like I was kind of like feeling the little, sorry, something feels off here with the intro with the brother and the dad, and you just feel like you're in this desolate green screen place and stuff. But when we get to the planet and he finds the android who says, "Hey, Yacha, up here," and she says it in his language. Paul, to preface this, he's in a field with nothing around him, and she's up here in this little grove of sticks that she's stuck in. And nothing around them. She's talking to the Predator in the Predator's language because the androids can do that, right? She says, "Hey, up here." And he looks at her. And then she goes, "Oh, how about this? How about I use my universal voice translator so that everybody can understand what I'm saying? Does that work?" Bitch, there's no one else here. There's literally no one else here. Why would you have to do that? You're already talking to him. So stupid things like that, where they think that the people watching the movie are too stupid to watch the movie, really get under my skin. Really, really get under my skin. And that it wasn't limited to that. You can fast forward later in the movie. Again, when I'm watching a movie, if something makes me stop and say, "What the hell?" Later in the movie, the Yacha's sitting in the room, the android's sitting in the room, another android's in the room, and she's talking to him with the universal language translator, and the guy goes, "What are y'all saying?" Like, bro, like you can understand them. She's using the universal language translator. And even if she wasn't, you're an android too. You should be able to understand them just fine. Now, bear in mind, these androids, Paul, they introduce them by the androids, they introduce them by showing them go through this grove of trees that the Predator barely survived walking through. And they're walking through it, not even looking, just taking out all these things because they're so badass, just snatch them without looking. Well, next time we see these androids in action, you got a little monkey and a Predator just dog walking them all without a problem in the world. Like they're just incompetent the next time you see them. Like, well, what's up with that? That doesn't make any sense. And then you got this whole sequence where the android's legs are just beating the shit out of these things. They're these hyper security androids, like these, just a set of legs, Paul, jumps up on some shoulders and does like little somersault thing. There's no top half. It can't do that. It would just flop. There's no weight for momentum. There's no leverage here. So it was weird. And then the stupid thing on his shoulder, AR, like how does it all of a sudden know how to function as a laser cannon? Like this, he finds this little worm thing that you see for a second early in the movie, and he ends up putting it on his shoulder and walking into the bad guy's place, and it just knows who the bad guys are and starts shooting them with its little spit mouth thing. Like, stupid. Now, last but not least, not limited to, and there's plenty more, but I want to stop at this one. The Predator Deck goes back to his crashed ship where he opens a container and out comes his brother's old mask. The mask that he doesn't have, his is gone. The mask that he can put on his face and use, right? He looks at it. "Oh, my brother, I'm the wolf." Next time you see this dude, he's not wearing it. He's wearing some stupid crap he got out of the jungle off of one of these animals. He's wearing it on his face, and it doesn't even cover but one eye, and it serves literally no function. Well, why'd you even get the mask out of the spaceship? Why did we even look at it? What was the point in that? And why are you wearing the stupid stuff now that doesn't even serve a purpose? It's not even stylistic. It doesn't even make sense. It was absolutely stupid. Every single bit of it, except for the action sequences, which are really, really cool. That's where I'm at with it, AR. I'm sorry, man. That's my rant. No, it definitely, the action's fun, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the action's fun.
I liked our poppy little sidekick, chatting away at our grumpy, predator. That whole dynamic I always find entertaining. And like you said, it was a lot of, great action. No matter what, like the predator mouth, like our hero of the story, it's hard to watch a predator the whole time and kind of take his acting seriously, which I think adds to that feeling of like a series of YouTube videos you kind of talked about. Yeah, I can get what you're saying. It's definitely not the greatest Predator movie, and it very much reminded me of a video game, even to the point of, like you said, like at one point, costume change and upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good comparison right there. Even down to the big mech thing at the end. Like, yeah, this is just the boss battle. Yeah, it did feel like a video game.
I can't speak, like in the words of Mr. Terrific. Maybe it was just very, intuitive. The word,
What got me is we went from Prey to this. And Prey, like, I cared about the characters. I cared about the brother. I cared about the main chick. Like, the acting was fantastic. There wasn't a lot of dialogue, but they conveyed it through all the stuff. They did, like, I don't know, Prey. I think he just wanted to make a different style movie, which is fair because there's a lot of different tone movies in the franchise. Like, even Predator and Predator 2, the tone is wildly different. We go from the actual jungle, this machismo action flick that all of a sudden we insert an alien into over halfway in it, like, which was just brilliant, to Predator 2, which is like the concrete jungle and just all these wild, like, different gangs and stuff and voodoo. And so I get that there's a lot of different ones, but this one just, I don't know. It's literally the bottom of my list, I think. That's what the kids like. They love those video games. The moment the studios give the Predator a character outside of hunter-killer, it deconstructs what the Predator is, a smart game hunter. And I will give him credit. Deck was super smart. He legitimately was. He was a good hunter. But it's just everything around him takes away from him in this movie. And the end was ridiculous with this stupid armor, the little worm on his shoulder. That's what got me. And by the end of it, I felt like they were trying to do like this John Carter-esque homage. Like, with, instead of Woola, you have the Calcic, or however you call it, Predators. Like, I have my own clan and an android. I'm like, well, there's Deja, John, and Woola right there on this dusty planet. It's Barsoom now.
Oh, you're not wrong, right? It definitely was kind of like a live action anime also.
I just hope we never revisit these characters, which is crazy because, like, it was almost like he was Broken Tusk from the original, like, Dark Horse stuff. They even make toys of it. I have my toy from the 90s still of Broken Tusk. So when he said, "Oh, I broke my fang," I'm like, is this Broken Tusk? Are they going to lean into that Dark Horse lore? That would be amazing. But I didn't really see anything into that. But I would recommend anybody and everybody watch it for yourself, judge for yourself. Just know you're going into a popcorn flick. You know what I mean? You're not dealing with Adrian Brody Predators. You're not dealing with Prey. This isn't the original Predator. This is more like the last one, just with no humans. J-Med, who's a actual screenwriter, says the script was extremely paint by numbers. It's sequencing to a T. They need to make Alien vs. Predator versus my electric bill. Paul, you ain't watched it?
No.
Well, it gets my stamp of approval, buddy. Give it a shot. I'm just kidding. Yeah, if you're into it, you're into it. Give it a shot. But yeah, I don't know what I expected, but I had some red flags. Like, I was looking forward to it all the way until it released, and I wasn't able to get to the theater. But then when I saw the response to it, like, you can kind of judge things based on how, like, who is praising this movie and how is it performing. When you see, like, it didn't perform well at the box office, and just the weird, very inorganic praising of it, like, it was kind of like the court. Remember how I was showing you a couple of times before where like media outlets almost do coordinated narratives on release of things? Like y'all clearly wrote all these articles before the project released, and then you all release similar articles with the same opinion on it. That's how this was. I didn't understand it. Hey, you might still like it. Again, I always tell people to watch things and form your own opinion. Like Sledge here, I love Sledge to death. He's got great taste some of the time. He doesn't like Prey at all. But so like that's where me and him differ. So I would recommend anyone to always form your own opinion. I will die on that hill that Prey is the second best Predator project. This is as far as you go. Like I'm like, let's go. That was amazing.
Now you say you don't want to see these characters again, but do you feel like after watching the cartoon, The Killer of Killers, that this whole thing is heading towards a Marvel-style team-up where Adrian Brody is teaming up with that Viking lady and that guy from World War II? And then when the all is lost moment, elderly Arnold finally appears, right? They gave him the money finally.
Finally, gave him the money. Yeah,
don't you feel like that's where this is heading?
At the end of Killer of Killers, seeing that we had some of those people in those cryo tubes, possibly, but I don't know if it has the juice for them to want to commit to something like that. But was it better than Alien versus Predator versus Batman? That was actually a short called Dead End, which no, it wasn't. It is not better than Dead End.
I got a lot of love for Dead End as well.
Yeah, dude, I watched that a million times. I've talked about this before, but Antimatter Multiverse was an old website back in the early 2000s where you can go to find stuff that was never released, put on disc, all the way from the Roger Corman Fantastic Four to the Italian Red Skull Captain America from the 90s, a bunch of the 70s Marvel TV movies and shows like Doctor Strange and all that. And they were taking the rising fan-made internet sensation stuff like Dead End, and they were even burning those. So you can buy like these movies, but you can also buy a compilation of all the stuff like Dead End and all the other little fan-made shorts and stuff that were out at the time, and had that on disc even in the early 2000s. Joe, it was terrible. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Go into it knowing it's a comedy and you can enjoy it. If you want Predator movie, you probably won't like it. Yeah, I think that's what happened to me all the time. It's okay for you to be wrong. The samurai, yeah, dude, that fan-made Predator thing where he's like in feudal Japan and it's a Predator fighting the samurai. That was super awesome. That was inspired by Adrian Brody's Predator movie when he's fighting the Yakuza guy in the tall grass, and the Yakuza guy takes his shirt off and takes his sword out. I want to remind y'all, they both died. The Yakuza guy got that Predator.
I do feel like the actors from Predator are kind of like not living up though to the original, because like both Arnold and Jesse the Mind Ventura went on to, do great things in politics. And I feel like the rest of these people should follow suit, because like just whenever an actor from Predator gets involved, they kind of do a pretty good job. Like God knows what that Indian would have done,
in Minnesota.
He should have been president.
Listening to Jesse, Minnesota. I'm a statesman. I served my time and I went back to civilian life. Dude, I love Jesse Ventura. I've watched so many interviews and podcasts and stuff with that guy. The only one I would tell you to stay away from is sit down with Theo Vaughn, because he just rambles the whole time and never lets Theo have a word in. It's weird. But other than
now, actually, I have to watch this now.
Yeah, and you need to watch Theo. After you watch it, Theo talked about someone asked him about like what were some of your hardest podcasts, and he said one with Bill Burr because it's like a meeting your hero moment kind of thing, and he felt like he made Bill mad unintentionally. And in the Jesse Ventura one, just because he was trying, he just felt like I didn't even need to be there for it. I could have just turned the camera on and left. Here's a stacking: Predator, Predator 2, Predator Killer of Killers, except for 1/3 of the movie, and Prey. How does that work?
I think I sign off on your ranking as well. Me and you are the same on Predator. It goes first one, Prey, then I like Predators, then 2, then after that, kind of your Alien versus Predator, all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I can't decide whether or not the Alien versus Predator in Antarctica or this new one, Badlands, is at the bottom of my list. But I've never watched a Predator movie and not had a good time.
Where do you put the Predator in the rank?
I put that above these.
Yeah.
I put that above. Oh, man. I can't decide if I like that more than Predator 2. They're kind of the same, a very similar movie.
Yeah, because they have the very serious elements, but it has like the characters bring the relief, like the characters' built-in personality. They are a band of misfits that have just been kicked out of the army, so it's not out of place. It's not out of place comedy or anything. It's just these people that should not be around each other are forced to be around each other, and this is what it looks like kind of scenario. It works. It's because new writers know nothing of war. They can't write good battle stories. That's probably accurate.
Now, in the spaceship in Badlands, was that the exact same setup as we saw of the skulls in Predator 2? Were they trying to say that those ships were related? Or is that just like the IKEA skull holder you buy in that universe? Like you get that
That's
one.
how I took it.
The T-Rex goes in the middle.
It was his brother's ship. His brother was like an established hunter, just like the Predator and Predator 2. That was his ship. These were his. Yeah, it's IKEA. That's just how their ships look, I guess.
I haven't gone back and looked, but I just remember looking at the Predator 2. That lit my imagination back in the day. Like, oh, look, it's the alien skull. And I'm pretty sure it was like the exact same skull configuration. I need to go back and look to, be sure about that. But
you see how they had the alien from Independence Day in this? I remember someone pointing it out when the trailer first dropped, and I'd forgotten about it until I was watching. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the Independence Day alien. That's super cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I don't mind that universe being a part of this too. But I guess it doesn't work with Independence Day 2.
No. Man, that movie, I had fun with it, but it's hard to think of it as a sequel to the first one.
It is.
It's really hard. That first one, man, holds a special place in my heart. I love me some Roland Emmerich films, which he did the second one too, but it just doesn't have the same.
That Bill Pullman speech?
Yeah.
Well, the best ever. Cinema.
Cinema. Well, y'all want to talk some DCKO?
Sure.
Yeah, that was a crazy book.
Wasn't it though? DCKO number 4, the first official 1-to-1 matchup meetup of our absolute characters with our main continuity characters. Now we've had the Legion of Darkseid moving and grooving through the multiverse, but absolute Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman versus our remaining fighters, Superman, Wonder Woman, Lex, and the Joker. And of course, if you read Batman Night Fight, the 4-issue tie-in series, you know that Batman died in the beginning of this, but he's been battling with the Heart of Apocalypse on his own separately, and it's brought him back to the tournament. And he rolls up with pizzazz. He pulls up a what?
Does he really?
Yeah, it's at this point, Paul. I can say it. But he rolls up like he rolled out. Like you don't even see him coming. You just see the Joker take a sword through the chest. Like you got to get back.
He rolls up and he basically just you think you can do it to me? Here's one right back at you, fella.
Yeah. But what y'all think of this crazy matchup? It was action all the way through.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, he's out. What did you think?
Did
it live up to your expectations?
Yes, definitely. We have Darkseid has basically thrown Booster Gold to the side. He's not in Booster Gold anymore. He's his own thing. He's like, yeah. And it's still, and it we know that he's controlling obviously the absolute Trinity. So it's not like they're just they wouldn't naturally necessarily fight these people.
Yeah, it kind of reveals that they were kind of built as weapons for him.
Yeah.
Like we know that Darkseid created the absolute world in the DC All in Special one shot. We know that, like, he has this entire world that's made of his essence down to an atomic level. The Omega particle exists in every single atom. And it kind of is revealed in this, in a conversation with Saturn Girl, that he's made this world as almost like a tool bag. Like he has these assets here for if and when he needs them. And he sends Saturn Girl to go fetch the Trinity and bring them to the tournament kind of thing, which I thought was really cool. And to Paul's point, like the cover looks like they are poisoned by his essence, by his presence. They are just, it's pretty much anti-life. They're full of the Omega energy. There's complete anti-life. They are just assets of Darkseid at that point. But I gotta tell you, the coolest part, because you get Superman versus Superman, Wonder Woman versus Wonder Woman. Absolute Wonder Woman's doing the transmorphification and turning into beasts, and Wonder Woman's like, oh yeah, I fight beasts, and you have a Absolute Batman looks at Bruce and he fires up and gets all big and spikes out, and Bruce goes, that's the ugliest bat symbol I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it's growing on me. Like, dude didn't flinch and waver, didn't care. And that was such a meta moment. Paul, I did that entire video before this Absolute Batman ever started of how much people were trash talking Absolute Batman, clowning on the symbol and saying, it looks the way it looks, but read the book. I bet Scott Snyder will get you hooked. And that was cool of him to include that in here. Like, it's kind of growing on me kind of thing. That's literally what people were saying as they've been reading this series along the way.
Yeah, and it also, it makes perfect sense for when they do come together, that the Joker basically is like, oh, chaos, that's for me.
Joker looked at the scene, like, whoa, can I change sides?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, are you serious? He's like, guys, yeah, I am. They're like, yeah, sure, Parademon.
Yeah, exactly.
Errol, what'd you think of the whole thing? Did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah, you gotta.
This kind of taints the entire Absolute
So
universe.
I've been reading this with my boys, and yeah, what do you think about the idea of this tainting the Absolute universe? We kind of are being seen, kind of a big spoiler for what this universe is with this, right?
Not really. Like we talked about, the universe itself was set up and explained in Absolute, the All-In Special. But Darkseid is kind of like pointing out like why he did it as it being like an asset pool for himself. I thought that was a cool little addition. But like we pointed out, like Paul said, like this isn't them here on their own accord kind of thing.
They're being controlled by Darkseid, so I don't really think it taints them at all.
But the catch is to all of that is by the end of the issue, they've broken that hold. Right. So when they leave this tournament,
which was awesome.
Yeah, when they leave this tournament, in what manner do they leave? Right. But we've seen how, like, because we have to see what happens in 5, because all of the fighters that have fallen get stone statued and set away. So everything is contingent on how this tournament plays out and what they do in 5. Like, because Earth is destroyed right now. Like, even if they win, Earth has still been terraformed. There's fire pits everywhere. It looks like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. You're going to need some kind of cosmic snap to reset events and things. And taking these players, these characters, like, is The Boys ruined because of this? Is Beneath the Trees Where No One Sees ruined because of this? Is Mortal Kombat ruined because of this? Or in what context does this all end? Will there be a memory of this happening for the people that were involved in it? Because it's touched a lot more than just the Absolute universe at this point.
Only the Psycho Pirate will know.
Yay. And Wally.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, yeah, taint wouldn't be the word that I would have used. I definitely can tell you my one son was like heartbroken at the idea that, like, oh, what? Absolute Batman is a bad guy?
Oh,
what? He was thrilled to see what happened. So I do know the gut feeling you get of, like, you've been watching these heroes, you've been enjoying them, and now you're seeing them being used in the traditional, like what looks like, they're literally calling them the 4 horsemen,
Mm-hmm.
So, like, just as a stand-in for, like, what is the ultimate bad guy for them. but then showing that they could be broken out of it, like you said. There is a story being told here at the end of this road where they will have their own, hopefully, agency, coming out of this.
And this is definitely worth addressing right here. Go ahead, Paul.
I was going to say, yes, but then you get the old nurture versus nature type of a thing.
Are you talking about the comment here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Drew says if they are made of dark side, they are dark side. Correct. And their heroics in this universe are null by definition. Incorrect. That's not how words work. And yes, all of those properties are less than by being involved in this. So to your point, I think, like I said, it depends on how it plays out. If they have recollection of this, now their own stories, this is part of something they have to deal with in the continuity of it, which I don't see that happening. I don't think they're going to weigh down their writers with this. Just like if you read the next issue of The Boys, Homelander won't have nothing to do with this. It won't affect it like that. And that'll be explained by the end of issue 5, the way it plays out. But the dark side thing, that's how this was all started to begin with. If someone doesn't know that, it's because they came in late. And like they say at the beginning of the Phantom, for those that came in late, they get into it. And the whole concept of that has been flushed out a little bit already in the Forever Evil special. The fact that Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman exist are anomalies even in this world created of Darkseid. It's Hawkman talks about it a little bit in the most recent issue, how these heroes seem to pop up and kind of thing. And it's almost like he exists to get them out. You need to go read the Forever Evil book where Joker breaks down the actual scientific finding behind this world and how it's a world that's flipped on its head, where there's hope, there's hopelessness, where there's this, there's that. That's what makes the absolute world the absolute world. That's why it's not just a random multiverse. It's not just a different world with characters that look similar. That's the catch to this world. It's like if you go to a world with all vampires, the catch is everyone's a vampire. The catch on this world is you have dark side in your veins. What does that mean for your character? How does that influence your character? What differences, what challenges, what do you have to overcome because of that? And that's what absolute is.
And even if you're in a universe that was created by Darkseid, and so by default you're created by Darkseid, are you less heroic or more heroic if you fight against that to still do good?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like, I see the Superman and all the absolute, except for Absolute Hawkman. He turned out to be a real asshole. But
he's so awesome though, dude. He was so awesome. It was insane.
Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman. They're kind of like the Scott Frees of the Absolute universe.
Yes. Yes, they're all Mr. Miracle.
Right.
Yeah, this one hasn't felt much like a cash grab to me, just because they didn't they didn't splash the market with it. They're doing a 5-issue event with a couple of little extras along the way, but boom.
Oh, it's so lore heavy.
After King Omega Lex recreates the universe in his image, and that's the next point. Lex is our big winner, but there's a twist to it. Pop.
Doomsday. What is Doomsday gonna do?
Oh, Doomsday is about to come in and do what Doomsday do.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, how cool has that been? See, that's the thing. I did the whole video on this issue because I know like a lot of people that are reading the event are probably not reading Superman. A lot of people come in and jump in for an event. DC doesn't do shitty events. That's what kind of sets them apart from Marvel. So their events actually have continuity and context to their existing titles, where you should probably read the universe, pay attention to the universe, because they've been working up to and building up to these events. There's a lot of context. It didn't just get thrown together haphazardly. They planned it. They're like, hey, people are going to spend this money. We ought to give them something that has some value. And in the Superman book, you actually get this story a while back now where they introduced the concept of the Heart of Apocalypse, and they go back and they re-look at some of the intention behind them making Doomsday on Krypton. They recognize this entity in the cosmos, Darkseid, the Omega, and Doomsday was part of the plan to have an alpha. So that's why you have Time Trapper, aka Doomsday, rolling in at the end when Saturn Girl locked in on Darkseid and saw this hellscape of a future. But there's this other entity all of a sudden in just a brief flash, and it's Time Trapper, aka Doomsday, who can't die, who will always evolve, and it's Doomsday from the end of time coming back to handle shit. I don't think Lex is going to have a second. Like, we might have Lex in a few pages. Like, I'm King Omega Lex now. What do y'all think is going to happen with Lex? He did all this to be the crowned king, but what will it all mean?
Yeah, it's gonna be I think he's gonna very
Yeah, I
quickly
can't believe
get it
Lex
beat
won.
down. Yeah.
Dude, that blew my mind. I assumed it would be Superman. Drew says it's like every DC event, it will end with Superman becoming Darkseid and his magic glowing hero essence overpowers the evil anti-life like every other DC event. I don't know if I've read that DC event. Dude, making Battle World.
I think being compared to Jonathan Hickman's Battle World is not a bad thing. And I think that like why that comic hit so well was for the same reason that this comic's hitting so well, which was so much legwork went into getting us to here. And yeah, the idea that, some great villain is, grabbing power when they have a chance to, whether it's Lex or Doom. Yeah, that's I don't think that's enough to hang your hat on as far as like, this is just like that. Because, the dark metal stuff leading into why the absolute universe exists and giving all of these stories their own
Issue
time
7
to
of
tell
Death
their
Metal.
thing
People
and
don't
letting you fall in love. Like, yeah, there's so much lore and things being paid off. And yes, it kind of could say you're hitting the same story beats as Jonathan Hickman's Battle World in a way, but it's a pretty superficial comparison and kind of like is ignoring the legwork that has been done by the best-selling comic right now, these Absolute series.
It's kind of like comparing
the main continuity.
It would be like comparing Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness to Wakanda Forgettable. It's the same exact movie. If you back up far enough, it's the same movie. If you reduce your summary notes down far enough, it's the same movie. You have bad guy coming to get this kid because technology, we got to save the kid. Kid's a super genius. Special MacGuffin kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it's kind of superficial, like you said.
And Scott Snyder has said that Dark Metal was a Batman story, Death Metal was a Wonder Woman story, DCKO is now a Superman story. Even though he hasn't won, we know something's going to go on with him because he's going to be missing from his titles in another month.
Yep.
So
Time Trapper. That's going to be the catch.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so hopefully that is the case, because I was thinking about it since Drew made that comment. The last event that they did was Absolute Power. That wasn't a Superman focused event. Before that, it was Dark Crisis. That was a Nightwing focused event, which is a weird thing to say out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it has been a while since we had I guess Infinite Crisis in a way was a super. I mean, yeah, like I don't know. That was Jeff Johns. So he plays with a lot of characters.
Mm-hmm.
I would really say that was a Joker event by the end of it. He took out Alexander Luthor. Your biggest mistake, you didn't let the Joker play. Mm-hmm. Shoots him in the face. Like, God dang. DC events are stories about how the DC stories are important. Yeah, they have weight. Yeah, it's a good way of saying it too. Yeah, they matter. Continuity. Yeah, what's crazy is for the company that people think gets rebooted all the time, they're the one that has the weight, depth, and meaningful lore. It's weird. It's weird. How's that happen?
Well, I think actually, I think that the story of Absolute and what are they doing over there at Marvel right now? The other Ultimate Universe, the new Ultimate Universe, is a story of kind of like the industry as a whole recognizing that even if you're going to do these Elseworld stories, they're going to hit harder if they are tied to a larger multiverse thing. And you can see that, both Ultimate and Absolute are doing a good job of living tethered to the main continuity and still mattering to it in a way.
Are they doing that with Ultimate Endgame yet?
Yeah, but it's funny because they're doing.
I think
they're doing the Ultimate Endgame right now, because they promised it was only going to be 2 years. It's going to be 2 years, but guess what? It's coming back in another form in another 2 months.
Ultimate Reborn. They're like, we got to rebrand this ASAP.
Yeah, but like the story of the Maker and his existence since the original Ultimate Universe is an interesting long tale that's being told that has ties to all of these different things. And yeah, I think it's a good example of why comic books are amazing. If you were to try to sit down, it gives you the same feeling, I think, of like 1970s Marvel. If you try to explain it, you sound like a mad person. Yeah. And that's what I think when comic books are at their best. That's the fun
part about it, isn't it? It's the yarn game. I love it. We did get a slight tie-in book this week, and I don't even know if it's fair to call them a tie-in as much as it's just letting the readers know that it's affected slightly by the DCKO event. Aquaman was in the DCKO tournament, and that's why he's not present in the story of the book. So you have all the other characters
for a moment.
Yeah, he comes back in this issue from the tournament, which we see how he gets back out of this stone thing, Atlantean magic. Like we need Arthur. Get Arthur, which was cool. But we get the big reveal on who the aged up version of his daughter is. It's the psychotic mother of Mira from long ago, who was stuck in stone herself. You get the Zebel backstory and everything, and a retelling of that in a very, really cool way. And yeah, she's a psychopath, and she's trying to take over everything, take the throne, get control of the Seven Kingdoms, and take war to the surface. It's just absolutely awesome. The artwork, this Bayless fill-in artist does a great job. I'm missing John Timms, but the art looked very similar to it. Action-packed.
We end up right back where his origin began.
Yeah.
Him washing up on the beach as a kid.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. Really cool stuff. I'm loving every second of the Aquaman stuff right now. So he's back, and it says to be continued. And was it Emperor Aquaman? Emperor Aquaman, which was the title announcement that'll be coming after DCKO. I'm not sure. That's just going to be a story arc, is what it's looking like to me, right? They're not like retitling the book.
I believe they are retitling the book.
Well, that's cool. So if you issue 17, Emperor Aquaman kicks off. Aquaman has been crushing right now, and I don't think that there's a billion people picking up and reading it, but everyone who's picking it up, I've seen nothing but like the highest of praise of it. Highly recommend going back and it's Jeremy Adams. Like you can swear by Jeremy Adams. It's just safe bet right there. Loving it. You reading that, AR?
I am not reading Aquaman right now. Oh. No, my DC is normally pretty Gotham centric.
That's fair. That tracks. I've seen.
I didn't even pick up the. I didn't read the Night Fight either. I bought the first issue, and then I really liked it. But after Batman showed up in KO, I regret it. I need to go back and see now.
Bro, the last 3 pages, it's because it's only 4 issues. The last 3 pages of issue 4, you'll just be like gripping the desk, like, let's freaking go. Like because
like I was having a little bit of deja vu with like, is he going to become a pirate? You know, like
that was Final Crisis. That was after Final Crisis. That was a whole different story.
You know, what's going to happen? Is he going through time? You know, I was like, it kind of reminded me of that. But then watching your guys' coverage and seeing what happened in KO4, I kind of want to go back and get out that, because it seemed like it was kind of deep character stuff about his sons.
Bro, like the deepest that they've done. Like, and issue 4 is just hits on another level because the issue 1 is Dick Grayson, issue 2 is Jason Todd, issue 3 is Tim Drake, and then issue 4 is Damian. And what it is, the concept was just the Heart of Apocalypse was trying to break him for him cheating in the tournament. You know, there's been a couple of people that attempted to bend the rules, you know, like Captain Atom in the Captain Atom vs. Superman, that he didn't see that coming kind of thing. And then Batman, that's what caused the Night Fight story. But it's trying to break
I liked what he said, though.
Who?
I'm not a cheater. I'm Batman.
Oh, yeah. But by the end of it, dude, you find out like he done figured out his situation he was in, and he was trying to work through each of them, outmaneuvering the Heart of Apocalypse, and it gets to the Kobayashi Maru moment, like in issue 4, like the unwinnable situation, and the way it plays out is epic because like he gets to where he convinces the Heart of Apocalypse to send him back to the tournament, that he can be the King Omega, he can do it, and he'll serve the heart well, kind of thing. He's like, get out there and survive, then go, and he sends him back, and like in his return from this existence to the tournament, he's like self-dialoguing, like, you've put me through hell, you made me watch this, you made me see this just to make me as strong as I can, but I've just been practicing how to beat you. And you're like, okay, let's freaking go. Let's go. And then he just gets Omega beamed in issue 4. But he got the Joker. That's what counts. Darkseid wiped the floor with all of them. That was such a cool moment, how Superman just barely survived it and Lex hid behind him.
Yeah. Bang.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. Got time for a couple more. Big finale happened this week. Sad to see it go. Issue 5 of Mad Cave's Return of the Ghost Who Walks, the Phantom 5-issue miniseries, but all these publishers are getting creative with their release things. It's returning immediately with the Sky Gang. The end of it, Paul, how he mentions like the Sky Gang that he's gonna have to investigate, and it was those helicopters flying away. This Phantom Sky Gang #1 is already up in solicitations.
Yep.
So that's coming, I think, like 2 months.
April.
But,
yep.
Yeah. But dude, this was great. This was definitely kind of like how they no big twists, no big turns out. There's a time there when I was expecting like, oh, it looks like the Phantom's gonna die and we're gonna have to get the next Phantom take over the mantle, and we'll be following a Phantom fresh from scratch. But this wounded and beat up Phantom rallies it up, and with the help of the tribe that he's there with, he manages to fight off the Singh Brotherhood with a cool little twist. The whole time the Singh Brotherhood thought that they had all the kids in the encampment rounded up and under gunpoint as like a failsafe. If the Phantom doesn't yield, we'll just take them all out. And it gets to the point where he's facing Singh face to face, and he's definitely not yielding. And Singh says, "That's it. I didn't order the stop. You should have listened to me. Now all those children are dead." He goes, "You really don't understand where you are. These kids that you think you have hostage, they've been fighting since the day they were born to survive in these harsh jungle conditions. They've been training every day of their life to be the most efficient fighters this side of whatever." He's like, "I don't come here to teach them how to fight. I come here to spar with them. They teach me." And then it cuts to the kids where they've just dog walked these dudes, man. It was super cool. It was like a oh shit moment. It was really tough. Such a good book. I can't wait for the next installment. And these covers were great. The Freddie Williams covers.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, highly recommend. Go back and get those, people. What'd you think, Paul?
I liked it. I was waiting for. I thought he was going to pass. Even in this issue, I thought he was still going to pass away. Because they kept it. He's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I can make it. I don't know."
Yeah, he's not in good shape. Like he got tore up. That's for sure. That's such a cool, unique thing about this character, knowing like the gimmick to the character is the whole lineage thing, the passing of the mantle. It really makes you like realize like this character is legitimately never safe. Right. Like we're with Kit Walker, but his son Kit Walker at any minute in time can have to step up. So I think it's pretty cool. Now this one takes place in what feels like, I guess, modern times. You have like what looks like the only real thing that we saw to really set the time was the helicopters. The plane looked like a generic, could be the 70s, could be the 80s, 90s. Like all these jungle planes are never like high tech. There's drug running planes, but the helicopters from the Sky Gang, they look like modern helicopters. And that's about the only thing that I really knew to kind of set the time stage. Those people are crazy, Joe. Those people are absolute idiots. And y'all should all go pre-order your copy of the Phantom in 4K, available now at
KinoLorber.com.
KinoLorber.com.
Did you order yours from them?
No, I told you I was going to wait to see if it pops up on any other sites. But I was reading an article today that announces all the upcoming stuff, and even in that article that is like very, very detailed, the only place that it said had the Phantom label listed for was the Kino Lorber site. So I think that's going to be the first time I order from them. I'm definitely not going to miss it. It's not out till April, so we got a little ways. But I'm excited for that. Super excited for that. I love me some Phantom.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Yeah, I think you would like it, man. It's one you could definitely read with your kids. If you want to teach them why they shouldn't do cocaine, let them know that this guy will kill them.
It's a strong deterrent, right?
Yeah.
I also have to show the
Billy added a level of drama
first.
to the visual presentation of this show. Such drama. I'm on the edge of my seat. Yeah. You'll never see him coming.
Thank you. Like I said, I moved out to my garage, and now I need to figure out this internet thing before I go on another live show. I already apologized, Drew.
Yeah, it's working just fine.
Willingly. He moved out willingly.
Willingly, yeah. You want to throw that in there. You were not sent to the garage.
Those kids have taken over.
Yeah.
No, it's the other way around. I was defeated. But now I need to find greener pastures.
Did you see the rumor, the Mark Miller rumor this week?
I don't think so.
He might be writing a Marvel versus Marvel Star Wars crossover.
Marvel versus Star Wars crossover.
Yeah, I don't know if it's versus, but a Marvel / Star Wars crossover.
Well, if he's writing it,
All right, I can dig it.
yeah, if he's writing it, it's going to be hardcore. He's going to be like, what's going to do? It's going to be just Anakin going to Strange Academy to kill kids. That's all it'll be. That's it.
It's a good team up. Speaking of team ups, man, I saw
there'll be Nemesis. There'll be Nemesis in the
Spider
background going, "Where's the
Doom
youngling?"
buggy hanging out with the Superman jet. That's one of the covers coming up for the Spider-Man Superman team up, and I'm definitely getting that one.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the John Jane cover.
I'm telling you, Mark Millar will have Nemesis in the background going, "Where are the younglings?"
Oh my god! Maybe holding a bunch of like cyanide. Like, where are they at?
Yeah,
dude. I don't know if y'all read Nemesis, but that is the most savage character ever created. Who cares if it's good? Yeah, I'm excited for that book. I still haven't read Psycho Sam, whatever it's called. I still haven't read that. That's the only one of his that I haven't read yet. And he has that book Conquest that he did on Kickstarter. And I've already seen him like doing teases like he's on a movie set holding the book up with the trailers behind it. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see much original stuff from him for a while, because I've legitimately, like, my theory is, he was working on all the stuff with Netflix. He was actively working on Magic Order at Netflix when the shutdown happened. So that got stopped. So when the shutdown happened, all of a sudden we get all of his books, all of them, like Dark Horse, all of them, multiple Nemesis volumes, the finale to Jupiter's Legacy, the finale to Magic Order, the next edition of, what was it? Edison Crane's character. What's that? Prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the next Nightclub. The next Huck, like all of it. Then he's like, then he did the Psychic Sam thing with JRJR, then Conquest, and then he's like, I'm taking a break for a while, jumping off social media. So I'm like, okay, I think he's heading back to the producing side of things, back to making TV or film. So we'll see. I'm excited for anything he's doing. Literally anything. Film, TV, books, whatever he's got going on, I'm checking it out.
Yeah. Avengers Star Wars is Marvel Star Wars, same thing.
Yeah, just got this in too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a big Miller fan myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely love it. Rumored to be an Elseworld story like the Predator and Alien ones were. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, got anything else y'all want to hit on? I got other books, but it's getting late. I would say
Yeah.
Geiger was fantastic. I don't know if y'all read that. Oh my god, that was a good issue.
Me too. I really loved it. They got we got the Unbelievables coming next month.
I saw that. What is that?
coming. It'll be in this month's solicitations because it's May. We got the $1 trillion kid coming. So we're announcing all these other things. We still haven't gotten Brad Meltzer's story.
Yeah, the first ghost. I think that was teased in here though, because inside the tank. Turn to the page where they're looking at the name labels on the tank.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So Tariq had a label for his seat. The
Simon
Northerner
Pierre had a label.
Simon. What was the Northerner's name? It was something North.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was it? We got his actual name finally in here.
It just said Mr. North.
Man, they gave us his name in some capacity. I don't know if he asked him or what. But there's also one more seat label that they don't know who it is. I'm thinking that was the first ghost.
Miss Hollow.
Miss Hollow. Because, like Hollow Man.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
But then, did you also notice, and maybe this happened before, but in the timeline, they've added Widow X. They've added the monster on the
Widow
timeline.
X has been there a while. The monster's been there a while too. Because when the Blizzard was coming out all that time ago, I was thinking that the Blizzard might be the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was one of my speculations on that.
Sure. We got the Who's Who page on the
and there is the Blizzard in there, which I thought was cool. It's pretty much a skinwalker, the way they describe it.
But yeah, the image solicitation should have the first thing on the Unbelievables. So
Malcolm North, that's his name. It's not written on the chair. It says Mr. North, but yeah, Malcolm North. But yeah, it was cool. Like this tank was awesome that gets teleported down all the little a little bit more about the world, the timeline he comes from was really cool. Like they're on like this great quest now to gather more. Like, and they don't even know who they're supposed to gather, where they're supposed to gather, just the calendar clue and stuff. I like that aspect to it, that he's not giving instructions, you're just given a tool and figure it out, because they can't pass this direct information along in fear that if it gets intercepted, it can mess things up. Like, intercepted by who is sending it? Like this Northerner character has got so much cool lore attached to him that makes me just, I love having questions more than I like having answers. And I've got so many questions. It's just, what a cool character. Jeff Johns does it again, Drew. Drew hates Jeff Johns. Love you, Drew. Yeah. Y'all got anything else you want to hit on tonight? AR, you're muted. I don't know if you know that or not.
I'm good.
Yeah, I was just trying to make sure my connection didn't make me stutter here. No, did you read Avatar 4 of the Gap
I have
Year?
not read it yet. I have it right here next to me in my pile of haven't read yet. Yeah, I haven't read the new Rockefellers Avatar. What'd you think? Was it solid?
Well, yeah, it continues. Yep, continues to add weight to that period of time, and explaining kind of why they had to get out of it's kind of like the explaining the breakdown that was happening between humans and Na'vi even after the big victory of running off a bunch of humans.
Got to get the high camp.
And kind of who the players are. They've set up a new kind of a big bad for them to deal with, and he's a pretty good character so far. It's been fun,
bro. When he just straight up murdered that
you
Na'vi,
see a little bit of tragedy in this.
when he straight up murdered that Na'vi, he's like, I need you to send a message back to Jake. Bah, 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 bah. Leave the body. He'll get the message. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, he came, he sent that message in the beginning, basically explaining, I'm here to get the job done, and you know what that means.
And this is Ethan Sachs writing this too.
No hard feelings.
This the guy who's writing this current Avatar is the same guy who wrote the Aquaman 2 movie tie-in book. He wrote the Jango Fett story here recently for Marvel. He did Old Man Hawkeye. So they got a legit writer doing an Avatar comic, which I think is just awesome.
See, I hadn't looked into any of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I actually got to meet him
Yeah, I like writers who specialize in tie-ins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, where'd you meet him at?
Yeah, I actually got to meet him, and I have the movie photo cover for the Aquaman 2 movie tie-in, because I get the movie photo covers whenever I can, whenever they do them. And I got him to sign it. So that's up on my toy display with all my Aquaman movie toys up there. It's good stuff. Yeah, that's gonna.
Well, I think that was the last book I wanted to bring up besides the Absolute Wonder Woman annual. That was pretty good. I think we talked a little bit about that though, just in the chat.
Mm-hmm. And Paul and I recorded the full deep dive on that. That was a damn good issue, heartfelt issue. That video comes out tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Sector's channel. But Kelly Thompson continues to just amaze me.
All right, I'll check that out.
Boom. So yeah, that's all I got. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. Be sure to go check out The Villain with Kirk Douglas, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Apparently I'm the only one that's ever seen it, but it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, that's homework for this week.
Highly recommend it. I think I'm going to try to watch this next episode of Game of Thrones before I go to sleep. And man, I hope everybody has a good night.
Yes, sir. That's where I'm headed right now.
See y'all in the next one. Peace.
You are who you choose to be.